Welcome back to Guided by a Goddess with me, Mia. I'm so excited for today's episode. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And I have Emily, one of the goddesses from this temple, that's going to be joining me. Hello, Emily.
Hi,
Thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk about one of my clients, and he loves to be a cuckold. Now, Emily, why don't you explain what a cuckold is?
So a cuckold is a guy who basically likes to watch his partner, be it his girlfriend or his wife, have sex with another guy. But you do have different types of cuckolds. Some like to be humiliated, some don't. Some like to be a part of the session, like the sexual session, and some like it to be private. Like they like to be in the other room, listening to the sounds or just knowing that their partner is with someone else. And you also have women who partake in that type of thing, but they're called cuck queens.
Ooh. I got you to explain it because we know that you're professional at these calls.
I love them.
I have done a few with you, and I learned a lot. But when I did start here at the temple, I remember I didn't know much about it. So I had a guy call me, and he was looking for a goddess, and he liked the whole cuckold thing. And I said to him, I said, I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about it, so I do not want to take this call and then you be disappointed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you on to another goddess and get you where you want to go.
Yes.
And he said, no. He's like, why don't I teach you? And I'm like, really? He's like, absolutely. And he's been my client ever since. So,
I love that. I love
yeah.
that.
He's one of my first clients, and yeah, it was an amazing journey to learn things, and I'm still learning. And I got you, Emily, on a couple of calls with me and him, so you know exactly
Yes.
what he likes. So it was fun and exciting. So I hope everybody enjoys it. I have him here, and we're going to talk to him, and he's literally going to give us his view on his cuckold life and tell us what he thinks and how it makes him feel. And like I said, I like bringing it to this platform because there's no kink that's weird, wrong, whatever. Whatever is right for you, whatever you like is right for you, as long as you're safe. It's all good, right?
It's all good. I swear.
All right, so let's bring him in.
Yay.
Okay, so we have Nick on the line with us. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have Emily here with me.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, babe.
So, you remember our call with Emily, obviously, and how much fun we had.
Of course.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of bring you on here. I explained to everybody how you and I met, and it was back in October. I didn't know much about Cuckold. I offered to send you to someone who knew a little bit more about it, and you offered to teach me, which I thought was really great. So I wanted to get your perspective. I wanted to kind of understand what it is about Cuckold that turns you on, that gets you going.
For me, and I know it's not the same for everybody, but for me, it's a power thing. It's I like to play off of my size. I'm short. Um, I I come really quickly, and I like to play off of that too. It's the thrill of like the humiliation and the power struggle and that
Hmm.
whole dynamic that really turns me on.
Right. And what about sharing your wife? How does that work for you?
I always I just wanted to see her in a position where she could enjoy somebody in a way that I could never do it for her.
Mhm.
And again, kind of plays off that power struggle where it turns me on to see someone else who's, you know, for lack of a better term, better than I am at it, make her feel that way.
Interesting. Isn't it so interesting, Emily? Like,
It is. It is. And I think it is brilliant hearing it right from the horse's mouth. I mean, I have never actually heard it directly from anyone, how it made them feel.
right. This is what I love about doing this is it's seeing the other side to
Yes.
it. Like it's a taboo. A lot of people don't want to talk about it and either they're embarrassed or, they're afraid to be judged. I like the fact that someone can explore something and really come out with it and explore that and be honest with what turns them on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. True.
Uh,
Exactly.
But we know with you, Nick, you love to be controlled as well. Like, would you consider yourself a submissive as well as is that a part of being a cuckold? How does that work?
I don't think it is for everybody. For me, it is. And again, it's I like to see a guy that can, you know, that could lift up my wife and you know, fuck her standing right there, or um, you know, for me, it makes me feel it adds to the excitement when the guy can all when her bull or however you call it can also I can also submit to him,
Yes.
have him tell me what to do and not have any control over my own destiny or my own, what's going to happen that day. um, it just adds the excitement.
So, I wanted to like make something clear. Like I know that you said, in your fantasy, because this is your fantasy. In your fantasy, you're short, and in your fantasy, you say you come fast. That's not always the case when someone's a cuckold. I kind of want to make that clear. That is something that you fantasize, because you don't have necessarily have a small dick, right? It's just part of your fantasy, right?
Right, and I totally agree with you. It's not everybody's fantasy. There's different nuances to it. Like there's a spectrum for everything. So
Right.
Hmm.
you get to see
Definitely.
where people like certain particularities of it. Maybe it's a foot thing or maybe it's this, but I think in every sense, it's the desire to want to see, your wife with someone else, with someone that has something that you don't have or you fantasize about not having. Um, and I think it goes back to what you were both saying before, that everybody should be comfortable to explore anything that they deem to turn themselves, to turn them on.
That's right.
If it's fine to explore, and if you like it, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. But be open about it, to be able to explore it in its totality versus always wondering, I think is important.
Right. I agree with that. Isn't that I find that amazing, Emily. You do a lot of cuckold
Exactly.
stuff, right? You do more
I
than
do.
me. Yeah.
I do. I love it. It was
Yeah.
funny enough, it was one of my niches when I just got here.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually changed it out because it seemed as if those were the only calls I was getting. So I wanted, more.
Right. Exactly. The thing that confused me, and it was a good thing that Nick, you kind of guided me because
Hmm.
I was thinking that, you know, all those things you were saying maybe real. So I'm like, oh, okay. So what you taught me that it's not so much real. You taught me how to make that into a fantasy. So I was like, I learned so much from you, and that taught me how to be better for the next client. And I was able to put two and two together. So that was
Hmm.
that was really, really, really important because I was like, but I don't get it. But then you taught me and I got it. So um, you enjoy our calls, correct, Nick? Like they're pretty fun. I mean,
I
I love
love our calls.
honestly, I love the fact that you're a really good boy and you're you're really obedient and I take control and I love the fact that you have this open mind, which really makes me more involved in our calls because I think the mind is what turns me on the most. Wouldn't you
Yes.
agree, Emily?
Yes, yes. Sex begins in the mind first.
Hmm.
And everything that you just said
Hmm.
about Nick is actually what makes him a good cook,
Right.
because that embodies them. They are to be obedient. They are to submit. But you do find a very few that I know of, who dominate parts, bits and pieces of what happens. Like you'll find some cooks creating the scenario or creating the situation. That
Mhm.
is them dominating that situation,
Right.
but being submissive in the plot twist of it all. So it's really really hot.
Right. I agree. Like everybody's like, I don't know if I could be a submissive, but I know me being a submissive myself. The
Hmm.
submissive is the one that has the most control because it's all up to you how
Exactly.
you want the scenario to go. So
Exactly.
that I always try to explain that to people, but that's for another show. But yeah, I like learning about different kinds of cook. Like I said, this is his way. This is your way, Nick, of being a
Hmm.
cook. So it's basically how you want it to go. But how would you explain it? Someone that likes to, at the end of the day, a cook is, how would you put it?
I would say at the end of the day, what we all have in common is we want to see a wife or a girlfriend or something be taken by another guy.
Yes.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
fill a hole or a void that we have in order to fulfill her needs in total.
And can she pick whoever she wants, or do you like to pick the guy for her?
In my scenario, I like her to pick. Whatever she wants, I think is part of it all for me. Why
Mm,
should I have control of what she picks? It's her pleasure, it's her
Hmm.
desire. I can
Hmm.
hope to want to watch or listen or even hear about it afterwards, but that's not my
mhm.
place either. I
Right.
just I can hope for it all, but she's ultimately in control.
Wow. Where do you find a guy like you? I need a boyfriend like Nick. Jeez. Well, you know what, Nick? Thank you so much for like doing this for us. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Of
Yeah,
course.
you're awesome. I think your mind is amazing, and I hope you continue to explore, and I hope you continue to explore with us too as well.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you both for having me. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time.
All right, babe. You
Same
have a good
here.
one, and we'll
Thank
talk
you for
soon.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
There you have it, another episode of Guided by a Goddess in the book. First, I want to thank Nick for coming here and sharing his story, explaining it. Thank you so much. I wish you luck on your journey. And I want to thank the beautiful Emily for joining me today in this interview. She's so informative. She's so fun, guys. Go check her out at thephonesextemple.com and have a call with her. Now for some exciting news. The Phone Sex Temple is launching a new podcast, a live one, on September 19th at 8 p.m. I need you to go to phonesextemple.com under the happenings page. You'll get all your information and everything that you need to know. It's going to be fun because you're going to be able to call in, send messages. Just go there, check it out. The links are there waiting for you. So I'm going to say my goodbye. If you have any questions or comments on today's episode or a future episode, please don't hesitate to email me at guidedbyagoddess@gmail.com. And I want to say thank you to everybody that has messaged me telling me how much they've enjoyed my last episodes. I do it for you guys. I'm just guiding you into another direction. Just know that I love you. Spread love, get kinky, perverted, and dirty, but most of all, have fun. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.